Ever wonder what happens when a secret goes viral? Picture this. You're just vibing at a Coldplay concert, then BAM! The camera finds you, and what happens next? Turns into a scandal seen by millions.
In this moment from our last episode, we broke down the wild story of the Coldplay couple. Jokes everywhere, but real pain behind the mess. Let's get into the real consequences, because behind every viral gaffe, there's a human cost. What would you do if you got caught out like this?
It's funny because infidelity, we're going to talk about infidelity, which is a very, very serious one.
This guy and lady were at the Coldplay concert. Chris Martin's like, they move in concerts that usually will highlight a couple, and they'll be like, hey, yeah, we're on camera. Not this couple. You all know the story. Do the impression. Let's do an impression. 3, 2, 1.
They literally were trying to hide and get away from the camera, but it's too late.
Too late.
Because they were caught.
Yeah. So Chris Martin literally was like, oh, I think this couple, I think they're having an affair or something, because the way when the camera went on them, they disappeared.
Oh my God.
They slunk out a camera shot. And obviously what was when their other co-workers was like this, because they got busted.
What a place to go to though, isn't it, and get caught. What are the chances of that the camera went on them?
Yeah.
On someone else?
And obviously I think Chris Martin was joking and reacted like, being on the big camera, being busted, and that caught everyone. There were jokes, there were memes created about it, because the situation of being caught out was very humorous, but then it did mask the dark side of the story, the dark underbelly, that this was really a story about 2 grown adults having an illicit adulterous affair, which isn't very funny. Because there's other people. The man was married, and about the woman, but the man was married. He's got a wife at home.
He's got a kid as well.
And is it one?
Well, I think it's one son.
And a child.
Yeah. And the wife had to she took down she literally deleted all her socials. Because then she'd get bombarded with messages, wouldn't she?
Yeah. But I want to ask you, Jay.
Yeah. Ask away.
Why were they so brazen and bold? No, to have their affair in big old public Coldplay concert.
Why? Because they probably didn't think they were going to get caught on camera. Thought they're going to be able to get away with it.
Yeah, because you're a big public event happening.
But they're not that slick then.
No.
For them to go to a Coldplay concert and then out of the blue, they're the ones that get caught on camera.
So what do you think is what's the real story about this? Why does this matter?
Because when it comes to fertility, infidelity is the real problem here.
Yeah.
They're thinking they could hide. So the real problem here is the infidelity problem, right? So they thought they could hide away at a Coldplay concert. I'm just using these two as an example. The problem is, if you got caught on camera, but you tried to run away from something, but you got found out anyway. So sometimes I think there's a lot of, obviously in society now, where people do go behind each other's backs and they kiss even
cheat.
Cheat. They think, oh yeah, there's that phrase that says, what's it again? What's it called? We spoke about it earlier, didn't we? Whatever you don't know won't hurt or something. Yeah. But that's a lie, because if that comes out, then the person is going to be hurt in the end. So it doesn't work out. It's not anything that's in the dark is going to come out. And this story came out because they were filmed. I think, wouldn't it be better to then leave the person or say, oh, I don't love you anymore, walk away, instead of going behind behind your partner.
Sneak around.
Yeah.
And now embarrassed.
Yeah. And I don't know if the woman was with someone, but we know the astronomer guy has got a wife and a kid. And that's not right, because it's very sad and all parties are affected.
By the way, he's not an astronomer. I think the name of the company.
I think he's an astronomer. I thought he was an astronomer. It's called the astronomer.
He's not an astronaut. But what do you think is at the heart of this? Because I don't think the story went viral because of the infidelity
Yeah.
being, as in people think it's so morally wrong. It is morally wrong.
Yeah.
It is, don't you make a vow to someone,
Yeah.
honor your vows. It obviously went viral because they got caught doing something they shouldn't, and they fumbled and folded, and their reaction was semi-comical.
Yeah.
But to me, that's a concern, is that it seems people are less bothered about the adultery, because I think adultery has been sort of normalized. Oh, you fall out of love. I think so. What do you think? Do you not think it's normalized?
Sure, I would say it's been normalized in a way. I think that's probably the wrong word to use.
Okay, well, tell me different.
I think it's been like, I think it's been like, it can be used as a way that like it's sort of to escape from a relationship you don't want to be in. I don't think it's been normalized as such. Being like an excuse to get out of a relationship, and people not telling the person they want to leave, they'll just go behind each other's back and then be like, oh yeah, you can still be with the person. You can still be with the person anyway, even if you leave them.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's not really a normalized thing. But I think what it is as well, the people that are actually having affairs, they're not really thinking about ahead of time.
Okay.
Breaking down of a family, the effect on the other person involved. The person not involved, they're having an affair with, but their person they're married to, whatever. They're just thinking about themselves.
Yeah, selfish.
Again, it goes back to
selfishness.
What they're entitled to. That whole entitlement, but from a different perspective.
Oh, so it's almost going full circle to what we were talking about at the top, where people are thinking about transaction. What am I getting in the here and now? I don't care about the future. I don't care about other people. As long as I'm satisfied.
Got it.
Is that?
Yeah, you got it. Because I think at the end of the day, something like having an affair is going to drastically change your home, especially if it's got kids involved. Literally, you're breaking a whole home down, and then obviously the person ends up being a single mum, or it could be the other way around as such.
Yeah.
But it ruins a whole family. You're ruining everything. Instead of just being open and honest and being like, you know what, I don't think this is working out anymore. We need to break up, whatever. But the person just goes off with another person. I think that it's really wrong, and it's an awful thing to happen. Anyone. I'm always thinking, what is going on in that person's mind when they're thinking, oh, let me just do this. I know people just say, oh, it just happened. No, it didn't just happen. It was something you planned in your mind.
Yeah.
Everything you do, it starts from a mind.
A thought,
your mindset, and then you act on it.
Listen, I can understand. We've been together a long time, but it doesn't mean we can't imagine any other scenarios. People do fall out of love, or they just grow or drift apart. I think the honourable thing, the decent thing, would be to call it a day. Have an adult discussion and say, this isn't working out. We're not on the same page. Sad. Be a bit like the winner takes it all. About all the pain of breaking up, but you do it decently and cleanly. We obviously advocate sort your relationship out and try your hardest to make it work, because that's a second relationship isn't necessarily going to work if you're giving up. But things happen. But the respectful thing is to, after you've done all you can, go your separate ways. The disrespectful thing, the morally repugnant thing, is to dip out on your partner and have an affair.
Well, the person that you've had the affair, like the wife or the husband, whatever, is going to have to then pick up the pieces. And then, say for instance, they're not explaining to them, they're expecting them to say to them, what happened, what have I done? I don't know how long they're married for, whatever, but can you imagine years and stuff like that with that one person? And then you just don't have maybe no explanation about what happened here, because there's a reason why there's several reasons why people have affairs.
Yeah.
Maybe
none of them justified.
But it's like, at least have the decency to be like what you said earlier, like at least have that conversation and say, you know what, it's not working out ever. But then to just leave, and then just infidelity is very hurtful and harmful to any family anyway, especially if you've got children involved.
So why do you think a woman would get involved with a man who's married in full well he has a wife and kid?
Because it's danger, Tony. Danger. I remember when I was younger, and the man used to see my wedding ring. He didn't care. He was still men on the street. He still like to come up to me and talk to me. I said, I'm married. I don't care, even if you've got a wedding ring on.
Doesn't deter.
That actually makes them think, oh, actually, I'm even more
a challenge.
interested because it's a sign of danger, isn't it? Like, ooh, risk.
Yeah, but that's a man's perspective. You explain it from a woman's perspective.
Yeah, from a woman's perspective. Yeah, but I think for men just want to.
Why would a woman take another woman's man?
Oh yeah. So that's just like want to break her home. That's how I always think.
Mm-hmm.
I think, why would a woman want to break her home up? Because I always think, why don't she find her own man?
Yeah. Well, give some ideas why you think that would be. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Give some. I know you're not that type of person, but give an example of why you think, what type of mindset that is.
Well, it's a mindset, again, that seems to be running in this podcast, that entitlement thing.
Mm-hmm.
That she's entitled, this woman's entitled to the man that's not actually your man, it's someone else's guy. But then you feel that you're entitled to take him away from that woman, which again he can always say no.
Mm.
He can always say no to it. He doesn't have to.
He has a choice.
Because every man's got a choice, every woman's got a choice.
Well, I think from a man's perspective, I think sometimes he might, if this is a guy who has a lot of money, if he never had a prenuptial agreement, the cost of divorce, from what I hear, especially in the United States, is very, very high. So if there was no prenuptial agreement, if they divorce, he might lose so much money for the rest of his life. So imagine he's accumulated all this wealth and they fall out of love. So unless they're reasonable, amicable people, or there was a prenuptial agreement, everything he's earned is going to be halved for the rest of his life. Yeah.
Man.
So, but if he stays in the marriage and just dips out, he can still not have to give up all that money and etc. and just live a sham. So I don't agree with it, and it ain't right. But that's the only way that I can kind of think about that. Or maybe as well, some men still love their wife or still have the attachment.
But you still love their wife, but why would they then leave? Why would they do that to them? Why would a man have the decency to then say, you know what, it's not working out? Is a man weak?
I think that type of man, yeah. I mean, I think it's the reality is that he might just want a bit of booty. He might just, if it's like more like kind of like little one night stands, again, it's just as bad. It's not justifiable at all. But it might be he is attracted to other women and he doesn't want to be monogamous. But he still has love and affection for his wife. Now, why that isn't unacceptable, because there are people that have polyamorous relationships. That's not us. We're Bible believing God botherers. We keep it very traditional. We're trad. There are people that do this whole open marriage, swinging kind of thing, whatever. If that's your thing, it ain't our thing. We don't think it's God's thing. But if that's your thing, but at least there's a contract at the beginning where they're saying, this is what we do. So no one is being deceived or tricked. So I think though there are modern derivatives of relationship, it's all about the honesty and the upfrontness. If you're saying we're going to be polyamorous, we're going to go with other people, no one can go around and say, oh, but you've gone behind my back, because it was a discussion.
Yeah.
It was an agreement. Maybe that's the Will and Jada situation that comes out. But so that's very different to saying, so if you know you can't be monogamous, don't say those vows. Don't go in a church. Don't go on an altar. Don't say those vows, because it's not about your preference. It's about your covenant, your commitment.
See, for men, it must be hard because men by nature are hunters, right? So when you get married to someone, for a man, that's a big thing.
You retire your gun.
To be like, hunting. I've got to be with this one person for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I can't be with anyone else ever again.
Yeah.
That's a major thing.
Yeah.
That must be hard.
Yep. Well, because
but it's like when you do it under God, it's very different, isn't it? It's covenant, and you don't look. There's nothing wrong with a man, because there's so many attractive women, more attractive than myself. Different types of different types of women from all over the world. It's not like the man's never going to look at a woman again.
That's the thing. You're true. So you're right.
Yeah.
I think what it is that you have to understand your appetite. Self-control is something that every man should learn to master, because like, is it Pringles, those crisps?
Yeah.
You eat them. It says once you pop, you can't stop. Besides love of God and love of my wife, is also understanding that I don't want anything to have a power over me. as a man. I don't want to be enslaved. And I know full well that once you open that door, once you pop that Pringle packet, you have one, they're very Moorish. You want another, and then another, and then another. So that appetite never goes away. So it's like saying there's no point starting something. It's like drugs. Like, I've never taken drugs, but they say like cocaine, the first high is addictive. That's why you chase in the dragon and they constantly have more and more and more. It's easier to never